with the new part. Now let us discuss about the laws of mechanics. Very first is the Newton's first law. Then we have to see the Newton's second law, Newton's third law, Newton's law of gravitation, law of transmissibility, parallelogram law of forces, then triangle law of forces, polygon law of forces, principle of physical independence, principle of superposition. All these laws and principles that we have to discuss in this unit. Now let us start with the very first law, Newton's first law. As we know that you might be learn in the 12th physics, the Newton's first law. It states that every body continue in its state of rest or of uniform motion in a straight line unless it is compelled by external agency acting on it. This leads to definition of force, as force is external agency which change or tend to change the state of rest or uniform linear motion of body. Okay, what it states that every body continue in state of rest or uniform motion in a straight line unless it is compelled by external agency, and external agency is nothing but what? The force. Okay, now the Newton's second law. The magnitude of force is defined by the Newton's second law. And what it states that the rate of change of momentum of body is directly proportional to the impressed force, and it takes place in the direction of force act on it. Noted that the rate of change of velocity is acceleration and the product of mass and acceleration is momentum. We can derive the expression for the force as given below. As per the Newton's second law, the force is directly proportional to rate of change of momentum, and this momentum is nothing but what? The rate of change of mass into velocity. Momentum is nothing but what? Mass into velocity. Mass into velocity. And the rate of change of velocity is nothing but what? Acceleration. Therefore force is directly proportional to mass into acceleration, and this proportionality is represented by letter K. Therefore force is equal to K into M into A. Now here F is nothing but what? Your force, and M is what? Mass. A is the acceleration, K is the constant of proportionality. In all the system, the unit of force is so selected that the constant of proportionality becomes unit. It means that your K value becomes 1. So that, for example, for the SI system, force is in kilonewton, which can be defined as the force that is required for the motion 1 kg of mass at an acceleration of 1 meter per second. It means that 1 kilonewton is equal to 1 kg of mass multiplied by 1 meter per second square acceleration. In that case, you have to consider this K is equal to 1. Therefore, we may say that force F is equal to mass into acceleration. This formula will be developed from the Newton's second law. Or you may say that force is equal to mass into acceleration according to Newton's second law. Okay, what we have seen, according to Newton's law, force is directly proportional to rate of change of momentum. And from that we have derived the formula F is equal to M into A, mass into acceleration. Now the Newton's third law, it says that every action there is equal and opposite reaction. Consider two bodies in contact with each other. Let one body apply the force F on another body. According to this law, second body develops a reactive force R, which is equal in magnitude of F and act in the line same as F but in the opposite direction. Now if you see this figure, this ball is resting on a floor. It acts, the load is acted over this floor is, let us say, F, and this floor will exert the same equal amount of force but in opposite direction, that is the reactive force, that is nothing but R. It means that the floor will be acting the R reaction over this ball, and the ball will applies the force F over the floor, and this magnitude is same but direction is opposite. According to this Newton's law, force which is acting is equal and producing equal and opposite reaction. Every action is equal and opposite reaction according to Newton's third law. Now if you see, if the let us consider this ladder which is resting on the wall and the floor, and the reaction from the wall and the floor is as shown in the figure. If it is rested over the wall, it will create an force F1 and reaction R1. Over this floor, F2 reaction R2. Now let us see the Newton's law of gravitation. It states that every body attracts other body. The force of attraction between any two body is directly proportional to their masses and inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. Thus, the force of attraction between the bodies of mass m1 and m2 at a distance d between them as shown in the figure is, as per this law, F is directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the perpendicular distance between them. Okay, perpendicular distance between them. Therefore, F is equal to G into m1 m2 divided by d square. Now if you see here, there are the two masses m1 and m2, there are the two masses, and it having a distance at a distance of d, and the force of attraction between them will be F is equal to G into m1 m2 divided by d square. M1 and m2 are the masses and d is the distance between them, and G is the constant of proportionality and is always constant of gravitation. You may call it as constant of gravitation. Now let us discuss about the law of parallelogram law of forces. Now previously what you have seen, the Newton's first law, second law, third law and law of gravitation, all these laws you might be seen in the 12th physics. Now today we are discussing about the new parallelogram law of force. Now let us discuss about this. This law states that if two forces acting simultaneously on a body at a point are represented in magnitude and direction by the two adjacent sides of parallelogram, their resultant is represented in magnitude and direction by the diagonal of parallelogram, which passes through the point of intersection of two sides represented by the forces. Now if you see here, now let us consider this F1 and F2. There are the two forces which is acting over the any body, and these forces, if we are considering as the sides of parallelogram, now let us draw one parallelogram having the side equal to the intensity of this force. Now let us say F1 is the having the intensity, same intensity of sides of that force is drawn over here. F2 is the another side, and we are, as we know that the parallelogram having the equal sides. Now let us consider this AB CD is same side, then AD and BC is having the equal sides, and angle between these two are theta. And according to this law, if we are considering these two forces as the sides of an your parallelogram, then the resultant, and resultant is nothing but what? It is the single force which are producing the equal amount of intensity or equal amount of effect as that are produced by these two forces, F1 and F2, which are producing the whatever may be the effect they are producing, the same amount of effect which is produced by the resultant R. Okay, now this resultant R is found out by this formula. If you see here, R is equal to square root of F1 square plus F2 square plus twice F1 F2 cos theta. You have to remember this formula, simple one, and it is applicable in to find out the resultant forces by using the parallelogram law of forces. And here this resultant R, which is making an angle with the F1, to find out this alpha, as we know that tan alpha is equal to F2 sine theta divided by F1 plus F2 cos theta. Now here F1 and F2 are the forces whose resultant is equal to required to be find out, and theta is the angle between the two forces F1 and F2, and alpha is the angle which is resultant force makes with the one of the force, say let us say F1. Okay, we will be discuss this parallelogram law of force later on, and we have one practical over this also to find out the resultant force R by using the parallelogram law of forces. We will be discussing the practical sessions. Okay, and let us discuss about this parallelogram law of force. Now let us consider this F1 and F2, and as we have seen this formulae, if now let us say if the theta is equal to 0, if theta is equal to 0, what will happen? This F2 and F1 will be lies on the same line. F1 and F2 will be lies over the same line. Let us say this one is the F1 and F2 will be again same line here, F2 also on the same line. Now let us say this one is F1 and here there will be F2. When it will happen? When the theta is equal to 0. In that case your resultant R, in that case your resultant R is nothing but what? R is equal to F1 plus F2, F1 plus F2. And this question may be asked in your MCQ type of questions. If in the parallelogram law of force, if there are the two forces acting at an angle theta, what will be the resultant? In that case, there may be provide you the number of options. In that option, one option will be R is equal to F1 plus F2. Now let us consider this F2. F2 is acting at an angle of 90 degree. Here this angle for the F2 will be 90 degree. In that case, if you are putting this value 90 over this case, cos 90 is nothing but what? 0. It means that your R will be F1 square plus F2 square, under root of F1 square plus F2 square. When it will happen? When the angle is 90 degree. Now when this angle is of 180 degree, it means that this F2 will be acting over here, F2, and the angle between them is this one, 180 degree. In this condition, what will happen? This way F1 is going in this direction and F2 is going in this direction, equal. It might be having the different intensities. Therefore, F1 minus F2, F1 minus F2, this will be the formula in that case for the theta is equal to 180 degree. If the two forces are having the equal value, if they having the equal value, F1 is equal to F2 is equal to F, what will happen? If we are putting this value in above equation, let us put this value F1 instead of F1 F square, F2 F square, plus here now again F1 into F2, therefore F square again, and cos theta. Now if you simplify this one, if you are taking this F outside, what will be getting over here? 2F2 square into bracket 1 plus cos theta, and 1 plus cos theta is nothing but what? 2 cos square theta by 2. This one is the mathematical equation or mathematical relation in between the 1 plus cos theta. Now if you put this value in above equation, you'll be getting what? 2f square into bracket 2 cos square into bracket theta by 2. Now here again simplify the terms. Now this 2 and 2 multiply with, you'll be getting the 4 f square cos square theta by 2. Now to remove this square root, what you will be getting? Square root of this 4 is 2, square root of f square is f, and square root of cos square theta by 2 is cos theta by 2. It means that when there is a equal forces, two equal forces, in that case your resultant formula is 2f cos theta by 2, 2f cos theta by 2. Okay, it is easy to remember. Only one formula if you are remembering, all other formulas will be automatically developed. When you are putting this cos theta, when the cos theta 0, what will happen? This value becomes a 1, and if this value become 1, you'll be getting the answer R is equal to F1 plus F2. When theta is 90, cos 90 is 0, therefore this term will be completely 0. It means that under root of F1 square plus F2 square. And when we are putting cos 180 in this term, cos 180 is again 0. sorry, cos 180 is again 0, you'll be getting F1 minus F2. And when the two forces are equal, in that case your resultant force formula is 2F cos theta by 2. All these formulae, if you are remember, it may be asked in your MCQ questions. It may ask in your MCQ questions. Now let us discuss about the, now from this again there are the two formulas, two laws are developed. One is triangle law. Now instead of considering this whole parallelogram, if I consider this triangle, if I consider this triangle, as we know that this side and this side is equal, it means that if you are considering the sides of an triangle is the forces, the sides of an triangle is forces. Now this one is the one of the side of triangle, this one is the one of the side of triangle, and this one is the resultant R. If we are taking one side as a one side of one force as a one side of an triangle, another force is another side of an triangle, and you will be getting the resultant R as a third side of an your triangle. Now let us see the triangle law of force. Now if you are see here parallelogram, first let us discuss parallelogram. Now if you see here this F1, now let us consider this body, and over this body F1 is the force acting, F2 is the another force acting at a distance at an angle of theta over here. F1 having the intensity of 4 unit, F2 having the intensity of 3 unit, acting over the point A. Let us say this one is the point A. The resultant of these two forces according to the law, construction of parallelogram ABCD. Now if you have seen F1, F2, we are treating these forces as the sides of an parallelogram. Now as we have seen here, F1 is of 4 unit. It means that 4 unit length is drawn over here, and for the force F2 there is 3 unit. It means that 3 unit of distance we have to draw over here, and angle theta, whatever may be the angle provided, you have to make the angle over here. And according to this parallelogram, if you are drawn this diagonal of parallelogram, this side and this side is equal and parallel, this side and this side is equal and parallel, and the diagonal is representing what, your resultant R, AD. And the resultant R, it is a single force which is producing the same effect as that of produced by the number of forces. Due to this F1 and F2, whatever may be the effect over this body, is same effect will be produced by the resulting force R. And that we have discussed in the parallelogram. Now let us say triangle law. Triangle law of force may be stated as if two forces acting on a body are represented one side, one after another by the sides of triangle, the resultant is represented by the closing side of triangle taken from first point to last point. If you discuss about this law, if you see over this, if two forces acting on a body are represented one after another means what? Now let us say this one F1 and F2. F1 is the first force is drawn first over here. F1 is the one side of an triangle, one after another means once this one will be finished, we have to consider this force F2, one after another. This will be the another force F2, one after another, with the magnitude and direction. Whatever be the magnitude, now let us say this one is the 4 magnitude. The 4 will be the length. And the direction, this one in the horizontal, it will be horizontal. Now F2 having the magnitude of 3, the same magnitude will be, length will be 3, making an angle theta. Now here if you are extending this angle, if you are measured, this angle is of theta. One after another, the sides of an triangle, these are the sides of an triangle, the resultant is represented by the closing side of triangle. Closing side means, now here this one is the start point and this one is the end point, and this is nothing but what, closing side of your triangle taken from first point to last point. First point is here and last point is here. It means that this will be the your resultant, this will be your resultant from the first point to last point. The magnitude direction from last first point to the last point direction, and here it makes an angle alpha over here. It is the modified or derived formula from the parallelogram. Okay, triangle law, again let us see. It states that if the two forces acting on a body represented by one after another by the sides of triangle, the resultant is represented by the closing side of a triangle taken from first point to the last point. Okay, now again from this parallelogram another law is derived. Let us see this polygon law of force. Now previously in the previous two cases under the parallelogram and under triangle law, we are considered only two forces, but if there are the more than two forces, we have to apply the polygon law of force. Now what it states that it may be states as if number of concurrent forces acting simultaneously on a body are represented in magnitude and direction by the sides of polygon taken in order, then the resultant is represented in magnitude and direction by the closing side of polygon taken from first point to the last point. Now if you see, if there are the number of force F1, F2, F3, F4 are acting on the body. Now if we are considering one force as a one side of an polygon taken after one after another. Now let us see F1. F1 having the intensity 20 means A to B 20 intensity force. Whatever may be the angle, the same angle we have to draw over here. F1 with the intensity and magnitude and direction is drawn AB. After that F2 25 from B to C having the intensity 25. Whatever may the angle made, same angle we have to draw over here up to the C point. Again from this to this F3. F3 again having the intensity of 30 means C to D. 3 F3 having the 30 kilonewton we have to draw over here. Now F4 again 30 kilonewton having whatever may the angle. Now if you see here it is inclined over here. The same inclination we have to draw over here. Means force is taken one after another with the same magnitude and directions, and the resultant is representing what? It is the closing side. It is the closing side of your polygon. Now if you are drawn this polygon A, B, C, D, E, now the closing side is AE, and it should be drawn from first point to the last point. Direction from first point to the last point is representing what? Your resultant. And resultant is nothing but what? It is the single force which are producing the same effect as that of produced by the number of forces. Okay, this resultant are producing the same effect as that of produced by this number of forces. Is nothing but what? Resultant. And to find out this resultant, this polygon law of force is applicable or useful. Now let us see once again, if the number of concurrent forces acting simultaneously on a body representing in a magnitude and direction by the sides of an polygon taken in order, then the resultant is represented in magnitude and direction by closing side of an polygon taken from first point to the last point. Okay, this one is the your polygon law of force which was derived from the parallelogram law of force. Now the law of transmissibility. This law states that this law, the state of rest or motion of rigid body is unaltered if force act on a body is represented by another force of same magnitude and direction but acting anywhere on the body along the line of action of replaced force. Okay, now let us discuss about this. Now let F is the force acting on a rigid body A at point A. This F force is acting as shown in the figure. According to this law, the force acting as the same effect must be same on the state of body as the force F applied at a point B. Now let us say the force F is applied at point B, where AB is the line of force. It should be on the same line of force. Then and then only this law will be applicable. If you are saying that the force is applied over anywhere in the on the body, it will not be applicable. It will not be applicable. It should be having the same line of action. It should have on the same line of action. Then and then only this law is applicable. It means that you are replacing the position of this force at anywhere on this same line of action, and the effect is unaltered. Effect is same. Effect is unaltered. It means that if I apply this force anywhere on this line, let us say I have applied over here, it will be giving the same effect. If let us say I have applied this force over here, it will be giving the same effect. Let us say this point is C, this point is D. Anywhere on this line, if we are moving this force F, it will be producing the same effect as that of produced by these forces. This law, again, let us see. The law states that the state of rest or a motion of rigid body is unaltered if the force acting on a body is replaced by another force the same magnitude and direction, but acting anywhere on the body along the line of action of replaced force. Along the line of action of replaced force. This one is the very important law, which is important for the some problems solution. The law of transmissibility of force. Now, the principle of physical independence. It states that the action of force on a body is not affected by the action of any other force on the body. It means that whatever may be the force acting on a body is not affected by the action of any other force on the body. And the last one, the principle of superposition. It states that the net effect of system of force on the body is same as the combination combined the individual force acting on a body, since the system of force in the equilibrium does not having any effect on a rigid body. This principle states in the following form also. The effect of given system of force on the rigid body is not changed by adding or subtracting the any other system of force in the equilibrium. Now let us consider this body acted over the force F. Now let us consider over this same line of action, if I add F force having the same magnitude but opposite in direction, again at this point if I add another force F having the same magnitude and direction but opposite in direction, it means that over this body I have added and I have subtracted the force in this rigid body, but the effect is not changed. Due to this addition and subtraction of this force, the system remains as that it was the previously only a force. Whatever may be the effect which was produced by a single force, and here whatever may be the effect produced by these three forces are same, because I have applied the same magnitude of force but opposite in direction. It means that I have added and subtracted, but the effect is same, whatever may be the you are getting from this previous one. Okay, now